Hello, hello, hello. It is almost 8:30. If you can hear me in the chat, type 1. Type 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I want to make sure we have some sound before I get started. I might sing. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to sing. But want to make sure that you can hear me in the chat. We're going to get started right at 8:30. I'm excited to be here. We're going to talk about getting those bills paid. How many of y'all remember that song from back in the 90s by TLC? Can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bill? Now, y'all know I can't sing, but I'm just, give you a little bit. So, just want to make sure that we are here tonight. But today's topic is called Can You Pay My Bills? Can you pay my bills? So there's a couple things we are just going to chat tonight. I come on here every Monday so that we can just talk like girlfriends, so we can really catch up on what is really going on. So tonight, can you pay my bills? Now, this doesn't mean we're trying to find some dude to pay our bills, but we're going to talk about paying bills. Um, the other song that comes to mind is, you remember the song? I think it was Simply Red or somebody, I don't know, but it went kind of like this. Just got paid Friday night, party hunting, feeling all right. But so let me get right into it. One of the things nobody ever told us, which is a dirty little secret, when we got our jobs, is when we got paid on Friday, we were going to have to pay bills first before we went to hang out and have fun. But the thing is that the real secret is, when we get paid and we go hurry up and pay our bills and we forget to pay the most important person on the list, forget to pay you. You have to be paid first. And what do you mean, Saran? How do I pay me first? Hey, Relevant TV, how do you pay yourself first? Because, we always say, can you pay our bills? Well, why haven't you made yourself a bill first? We get out here and we pay everybody. Cable, lights, water, credit cards, student loans, car note, mortgage, rent, all those things. And they're all important. But the thing is we gotta pay you gotta pay you gotta pay your future self by putting money aside in strategic savings account, by making sure you're getting into and learning about some investment strategies, making sure that you are redirecting inefficient dollars to the right place. If you find yourself at the end of the month with a lot of extra cash, that's a good position to be in. But you should have paid yourself first. And then even if you still have extra cash at the end, we need to start looking at redirecting that cash, right? I can talk to you about debt and all that. I didn't go straight into that because I really want us to start learning about the emotional side of money. We get scared and we pay all these other people or these other entities. We pay our bills first because we feel like, oh, if I don't pay them, they're going to come after us. But what if I told you your future self is going to be pissed off that you didn't pay, then put away money for retirement? You didn't put away money for your kids' college. You didn't put away money so that you can have fun in retirement, or that you can retire early, right? So if you're in your 20s, you have the advantage of time right now to really be strategic with your money, to set it up to where, you know what, by 35 or 40, you out the game full time. Maybe you're running your own company and traveling the world, or doing like the book The 4 Hour Work Week says, working remotely, working from anywhere in the country to get what you want done. But the idea is to really get systematic. And the best way to pay yourself is to have something automatic. You know how you have some things come out automatically. I'm not one of those automatic people when it comes to bills, but I will automatically pay myself. So, but you want to make sure it's systematic so you don't even think about it. When you get a pay raise, automatically start redirecting that and saving that. And that's one of the things that, I work with people to do one on one, but we have to start thinking about it like that. Somebody invited me to this super cool group um, yesterday, and so I joined. It's called like Hot Girl Summer or something, and I'm like, I'm totally above Hot Girl Summer age, but so I posted in there about money, of course, because guess what? Too many people trying to have a hot girl summer and they don't have any money. They're waiting on somebody else to fund it. Well, guess what? Real hot girls have their own money. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'll say about that. But really start thinking about, those are my neighbors, the dogs. Those aren't my regular coworkers. They're my neighbor dogs. But really start thinking about, how are you going to fund things in the future? Not in a stressful way, but in a kind of fun way. Like, you know what? One day I want to be able to, and this is, and I talk to different clients and they've said these things to me. I want to take a year at one point and I want to just travel the world for the full year. Well, you have to figure out how to finance that, right? Especially if you plan on keeping your home here, if you have a house already or your place, or even putting your stuff in storage and just, backpacking it across Europe or backpacking it, through all seven continents. Really thinking more and planning for those big dreams that we have, you know. I like that relevant TV. Real hot girls fund their own summer. We're gonna get that made. We're gonna sell that. Y'all can get that. That'll be part of one of my income streams now, right? But really just thinking about, what are those big dreams? Some people, they're planning for families. Some people, they're getting the kids out the house, off to college, to gap years or whatever it is our young adults start to do or doing now. But what is it in for you? What is in it for you? Money becomes stressful when you can't see how you get to have fun with it. I'm just saying. That's like a no brainer. If I can't have fun with my own money that I went to either work and busted my behind to make, or maybe I'm running a business or two or three or four, and but all I'm doing is working and I'm not having any fun, then it gets to be stressful. But if you're earning money either through your W 2 job or 1099 job or side hustles or whatever it is, all legitimate things, I hope, right? Then the thing is what fun do you have planned with that money? Like, what are you going to do for fun? It's one of those things in one of the one of the books that I read a couple of months ago, and actually I'm probably going to start doing some book reviews and posting it on my YouTube channel, just so you can get some good nuggets because there's some really good books out here. The book is called The Millionaire Mindset, and the guy's name is T. Harv Eker. But what he says in the book is real millionaires plan for everything. And that means our rest, our fun. When we start looking at our money, we need to be thinking about not just paying our bills, but again, pay yourself first, do some automatic way distribution that's going to get you two or three different benefits and doing it. And you want to talk about doing that, you can call me and we can set up an appointment and do it. Just go to saran10k.com. You want to have some automatic savings, but you want to have some automatic things built in for self-care. Self-care is not a one-off thing. It's not a sometimes thing. It's like meticulously planned. Like every 30 days, I'm going to go and get a massage or a facial or whatever your thing is. Or I'm going to go spend time, in the go to the woods. We're in the DMV area. I'm not right now, but in the DMV area, go to some of the outside parks or things like that. But really, really being deliberate about doing those things, you know, and not even getting into the regular self care, the daily stuff like maybe working out, eating better on a regular basis, so that when you do maybe get out for some hot girl summer stuff, you can just have whatever's on the menu that you want. But really just being meticulous, carving it out, setting a budget that says this money is for the spa and using it only for the spa. Because guess what you'll start doing? You'll start trusting yourself a little bit more with your money because you did what you said you were going to do for you. You and me, well, you really need to be thinking about what you want to do and just doing the not just only doing what they say is the right thing to do, right? But we should be doing the things that make us human and allow us to enjoy life with the money that we're busting our butts to earn, right? And then the other thing, I was reading a really long dissertation on this new market, the new bear market, right?
well, I shouldn't say new, but the bear market that we're in as far as investments and things like that. But the one thing that stuck out to me was this, is that inflation is around 8%. That is super high. And so with inflation being so high, that means that some of our money might be cut back depending on how your income is set up, how you're receiving your income. But the one thing I want to say to you all who maybe really who we're all keenly aware of inflation is to really start thinking about how can you earn more income. Is it through a passive stream? If it's through, doing a business, taking a part-time job, doing some side hustly type of things to bring in more income to really take away the sting. Because for the first time in a long time, inflation is so high that we feel it immediately. It used to be this sneaky little thing that just kind of creeped along, like dripping water in a faucet, not realizing that water dripping is kind of ruining that place in the house or causing water damage to the house, which is kind of slow. This inflation is like a big flood. It's just like, here's all the inflation. You deal with it, like a fire hose opening. It's like, boom, here you go. And so, really thinking about, how can you uh, master that? How can you do that and use your time a little bit more wisely and just maximize on making a little bit more money? Now, there's some things that I talk with my private clients about. If you want to learn about, set an appointment, we can talk about it. But really, really, really getting strategic and digging down and thinking about what you want for you. I mean, girl, listen, hot girl summer is cool and all that, but I'm trying to have a hot girl life. I'm trying not to worry. I want people that know me and clients that are connected to me to not be worried about ever having to wonder if they could buy a plane ticket to go somewhere they want to go, or decide to live in a tiny house, or get one of those fancy little vans that they're doing now and living in one of those because they want to do cool stuff like I'm going to go to all 50 states just because. But really having things, but that really takes time and it takes effort to plan your money so that you can do those things. So when you get to the point where you've done all the things, you've moved all the money, you've invested the right way, you save strategically and automatically and purposefully, that you can just do whatever, girl. Because listen, life is not waiting for everyone. We have to really just get out here and not just work, but enjoy ourselves and get out more. And I have a new acquaintance that I met, a young lady. I'll probably bring her on live at some point. But she was sharing with me. She's a therapist. She was sharing with me how many of us beautiful melanated queens go to work every day, Monday through Friday. We get off work and we come home and you stay home and you don't go anywhere. And then you stay home Saturday and then you stay home Sunday and then you go back to work Monday. And so we really want to get us to the point where we really feel like we can enjoy some of life. We know we still have some precautions to take in a lot of different areas, depending on what your risk level is as far as the previous health emergency. But finding a way to healthily get outdoors, even if it's like me outside on the deck or into a park or where there's water, a beach, a lake, or something where there might be one or two other people that you can talk to besides your dog. I'm a dog owner, so I can say that. I got two of them at home. But really just re socializing ourselves, and enjoying the connection that we all have as wonderful, wonderful human beings. So, the other thing is with can you pay my bills is let's think about the debt cycle. We oftentimes get into debt, and I wrote myself a note, so let me pull it up real quick because I wanted to make sure I spoke about this really quickly. So with the debt cycle, a lot of times for those of us who have debt outside of just living debt, like homes, cars, stuff like that. And we'll even say school loans because once you went to school and you were standing admissions, especially you went to school in the 90s and 2000s, and you're already there and your stuff's in the room, you're gonna sign whatever you need to sign to stay in school. And that's just a whole nother story. You can join me for my HBCU Facebook Live on June 22nd, where we're going to talk a little bit more about getting out of that HBCU loan debt. It's going to be live on Facebook. But the debt cycle, when we start talking about credit cards, the Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover Card, um, store cards, things like that. So a lot of times, because we haven't done the self care that I talked about earlier, we haven't built into our budget the stuff that makes us feel good, it makes us feel alive. We end up justifying it as a debt. And so we begin the debt cycle by justifying that I deserve this. So I'm going to put this money on my credit card because we didn't plan it for our actual cash. And so now we go into debt, which means we're going to pay interest on that fund. I don't like to pay interest on fun, fashion, and food. So now we take on the new debt, right? And so in the beginning, it's not a big deal. You just have the debt, you make the payments, et cetera, et cetera. But that debt kind of snowballs a little bit as the interest starts to grow in it, right? Then we get a little stressed about the debt. Now we're stressed out because what used to be a $500 credit card might be a $1,000 credit card, or what used to be a $5,000 credit card is now a $15,000 credit card debt, right? I don't mean to get in your business. I'm just saying I got clients and I'm telling you what I see, right? And then we get to the point where the debt is so heavy that we're stressed out and we need to relieve the stress of the debt. And that's when we start going into looking at other options to get out of the debt. Some people refinance their house and they put it on their house. Well, now you're paying that debt for a longer time, just a little bit easier because now it's on your mortgage. You took a debt that you may have been able to pay off in 2 or 3 years and made it 30 years. Whole other story. Some people go out and do a debt consolidation, right? And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. Just depends on what you're doing. And some of those things aren't necessarily the best. Some people get into a situation where they let their debt go into collections. And then it gets even crazier because the people are calling you and emailing you and mailing you letters and trying to get their money. And you're like, I ain't got it, man. and, and it just kind of gets out of control, right? And then you have people calling and say, "Oh, I can negotiate this and I can negotiate that," and then it just goes on and on. And then maybe you do get some relief from the debt, and you can breathe, and you're breathing and you're breathing, and then the next thing you know, maybe you filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy or Chapter 13 bankruptcy. 7, they wipe the debt out. The 13 is if you have property like a house or something you want to keep, then you just kind of restructure it and you make payments over time. And then now it's all gone. Now it's like, oh, I'm good now. My credit score is back up. I can get some more credit cards, right? Um, then I see your question, Devon. Uh, Devin, Devon, messing with you. Um, but it just makes it a cycle that kind of creates it. But I'm going to answer your question. It says, if I keep the utilization down with my credit, will that help my credit score? So I'm assuming you're talking about credit cards, Devon. And here's the thing with credit cards. There's a pie chart, and I can probably find it and post it, of the mix of the percentages of things that go into your credit score. So one is how many credit cards you have, inquiries, the amount of debt that you're carrying, your payment history. The two that have the highest weight are the amount of debt that you're carrying and your credit balances. So the amount of debt. So let's say you have a $10,000 credit card. The rule of thumb is to try to keep the balance under 30%. So that means try not to bump it past $3,000 because that shows responsible use if you can keep it under 30%. But if you have about, let's say you have 25 or $30,000 worth of credit total over more than one card, then you want to be thinking a little bit about, keeping that total amount of that 30,000, which is around, don't make me do math. Y'all making me do math online. Whatever 30% of 30,000 is, you want to keep it and you want to keep it below that amount, right? Now, if you have the best way to kind of see what that is, um, Devon, is to get one of those credit monitoring apps. And they have a bunch of them that are free. Like I know Experian, and I mean they have those little third party apps, but you can go right to Experian. Equifax and TransUnion, and on their apps, 9K. Thanks for doing the math for me, Relevant TV. So you want to keep it around 9K. But you can go directly to those credit bureaus, and they have a free section of the app where you may not always be able to get a specific credit card or whatever. I mean, excuse me, a specific credit report, but it'll give you alerts about your balance and things like that. Um, Wait, let me see. It might not be free. I think I have mine through my bank because I have like three of them through my different accounts. And so I get alerts every time something happens on my credit report. It will say, hey, you got 8 more points. Hey, you got 25 more points. Hey, your balance went up. Hey, your balance went down. And so those things are important to monitor. But I wouldn't stress myself out so much about my credit score unless you have a pending thing that you need to use your credit for. A lot of people come to me and say, oh, I want to get my credit to 780. What are you about to use your credit for? That's my next question. Are you about to buy a house? Are you about to buy a car? Are you applying for a business loan? And you probably shouldn't be applying for a business loan under your name. You should be setting up a properly structured business and using that structure to obtain credit. Whole other conversation. Um, but what are you about to use your credit for? Credit for is the most important part to really think about when you're trying to manage your debt. But go ahead and pay it off, right? And okay. All right, Devon, you hot. You hot tonight. How can I use my authorization on my card to help my children? Um, It's a little hard when your kids are under 18, well, excuse me, under 16, because they don't really technically build credit. But I can research that to you, and I know how to get in touch with you. But we can research that and take a look. But for kids, it's a whole other strategy for your kids. Usually that involves you having an established business that you pay your kids through so that they can get investments and build up cash versus worrying about the credit because they're starting at zero anyway, so they're not gonna hit the ground running trying to get credit. And usually the first time our kids get credit is when they go to college if they try to get student loans or things like that. But great questions, Devon. Um, so, but that's really it. If there's no other questions, let me check my phone and see if anybody sent me anything in my DM. But I wanted to just talk to you quickly because it's important to really, really, really think about what it is you want to do. Um, and somebody's trying to sell me a website in my DM today. But really think about how you want to pay your bills and being more strategic. Most of the time, I meet with clients and when they do my data collection form and they send it to me, and I say, hey, this is money that is used inefficiently. And I'm not talking about taking away your Starbucks run. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about other things. Um, I'm talking about other things that are important to our financial health that aren't the fun stuff because I'm not about taking away the fun. So I see Devon has another question. You're hot tonight. I'm healthy. Do I really need life insurance? This is when you need it because you're healthy. Great question. Most people wait until they're not healthy or they have a life event or someone dies close to them and it becomes a need. And then maybe when we wait too long, um, and we're not healthy enough, then it costs more. When you're young and healthy is when it is the most affordable and you can get the best strategic value out of it. That's a whole nother conversation. I usually talk a little bit more about the strategic uses of insurance with my Millionaire Ladies Mob on Thursdays at 8:30. But really, with the life insurance, the healthier and the younger you are is the best time to get it. And to the point that you asked earlier about the children, you should definitely have your children insured as well immediately because it gives them some space to be what they call, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, guarantees their insurability so that they will never be denied for life insurance because as long as that policy is active, they will have had life insurance. But yes, Devon, if you're young and healthy, you need life insurance for sure. And if you need help with that, let me know. And Sherelle chimes in, life insurance is for the living, not the dying. That's correct. Because when you meet with me, or if you watch some of my videos already on my YouTube channel, you'll see the living benefits of the life insurance that you can use right now. You can use while you're living. You can have the protection that you need. So, but again, back to those bills, pay those bills, but pay yourself first. Pay your future self. Make sure you build in the money for your self care. Make sure you build in some fun. Make sure that you are living this life and you're not just going to work to your 9 to 5 or 10 to 6 or midnight shift, 12 to 8, 8 a.m., whatever your schedule is, but making sure that you have set things up. And so here's my thing too, when you're talking about a budget, if you're young and healthy and you know one day you're probably going to have a family, now's the time to start planning for that family before the kids even get here. Before you even, go to the doctor and the doctor says, congratulations, you have a baby on the way. That's the time to be planning ahead, because that's how we get our kids, our beautiful melanated kids, ahead of the game, because they do it in other communities. They're already planning for their grandkids when their children are born. And so that's how we have to start really, really thinking. But that's all I have tonight. It's 8:54. It's about to be dark. My son left me. The beautiful sunshine has gone, and it's about to get dark outside. And I forgot to turn the light on the porch before I came out. So thank you for joining tonight. I'll be back again when Monday at 8:30 live. I'll be posting the topic for next week, in the next 2 days. But it was great chatting with everybody tonight. And thank you for all the awesome questions in the chat. If I get any DMs later, I'll answer those questions live. But if you want to meet with me one on one to talk about your specific situation, you can go to saran10k.com and you can book an appointment there. There's an appointment link in there, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can do a whole bunch of stuff on saran10k.com, because that is my digital business card. So thank you for coming. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this conversation. Not the singing in the beginning, because that was just totally entertainment, and I know it was horrible. But just come back next week. Talk to you later. Peace.